Hi friends, welcome to Interactive Medicine. In this section, we can continue our Croc 1 series and we are talking about drugs which can act in immune system. So first we need to define they ask in previous year questions continuously about allergic reactions. So first we need to understand what types of reactions were takes in our body against against allergens and antigens. So antigen is any foreign body which exogenously origin or maybe internally origin, uh, which activates or which is promote or simulate the production of the antibodies. So there is four types of hypersensitivity reactions occur in our body. We can classify it into four types. We are talking about first type one is anaphylactic type reaction. So in anaphylactic type reaction, the mediator is IgE, and most of the allergies what we can see is type 1 hypersensitivity reaction. So in hemolytic anemia, the mediators is IgG or IgM instead of IgE, and there is cytotoxic cell is the mediator, and the antigen is maybe is a cell, is a bacteria, and it have specific epitope. To the epitope, the antibody is binding. This is a type 2 hypersensitive reaction or cytotoxic reaction, and type 3 is seen in serum sickness and systemic lupus erythematosus, and it is mediated by immune complex, and type 4 is mediated by T cell. This is T cell, and it is seen in Rash and Sjögren's syndrome. Sjögren's syndrome. Okay, and the time is very different. In anaphylaxis, within 1 hour we can see the reaction. In type 2, hours to days, and type 3, 1 to 3 weeks, and type 4 is delayed. Also another name for type 4 hypersensitivity reaction is delayed hypersensitivity reaction. It takes days to weeks. So first we need to understand what happens in allergy. So first I will draw. So here is an allergen. uh, for an example, maybe a pollen. Okay, it comes into our body, and it reacts with APC or macrophage. So it will promote the production of T helper cell, and T helper cell form the B cell, and this B cell have IgE, and this will bind this antigen, and it promote the production of plasma cell. So then plasma cell produce more amount of IgE. It release more amount of IgE, okay, did you understand what I'm saying? First there is an antigen, then antigen will bind with macrophages. This macrophage will produce T helper cell, and it produce B cell. B cell have many types of IgE, and the this antigen is specific for a kind of IgE, and B cell promote production of plasma cell and produce a particular specific IgE, so it can bind with allergen next time. So this is the first exposure. This is first exposure. So second time, so our serum has this type of IgE, and this antigen again this antigen is going to again comes into our body. In this time we have this IgE, and where it is placed, this IgE is placed in mast cell. Mast cell have many types of granules, including histamine, bradykinin, and slow response substance for anaphylaxis. This so Ig is found in mast cell. So in this time the allergen is going to bind with this IgE. It will leads to the degranulation of mast cell. Okay, degranulation of mast cell. So this is mostly it is histamine. Mostly it is histamine and bradykinin and slow rel- slow response substance for anaphylaxis, SRSA. And this histamine is going to bind with this histamine going to bind with, we have blood vessel, and it have specific receptor for binding histamine. Okay, consider this is histamine, this is blood vessel, and we have nerve. This is our nerve. Nerve have also histamine. This histamine is specific H1 histamine receptor, H1 histamine receptor, not H2, H1 histamine receptor. This is histamine going to bind with this. So it leads to the dilation of blood vessel and irritation of nerves. And this is promote the allergy like sneezing, bronchoconstriction in the smooth muscles, and production of mucus, vasodilation, massive. It may be in allergy, severe allergy, massive dilation of blood vessel leads to shock. This is actually what is the mechanism. I think this is understand for you. And what happens, I will tell you again. And first, this is allergen. It comes into our body. It bind with, or it interfere with macrophage. So the macrophage will produce T helper cells. Then T helper will cell produce B cell. B cell have many types of IgE, and this allergen is specific for a kind of IgE, and B cell is going to produce this type of IgG with the help of plasma cells. So plasma cell is going to produce more IgE, allergen specific IgE, and this IgE is going to attach to the surface of mast cell. So mast cell, it includes granules like bradykinin, histamine, SRSA, etc. And second time of exposure. This is second type of exposure. This allergen is going to bind directly with this IgE where present in the mast cell. So mast cell is going to undergo degranulation, and it produce histamine. The histamine is bind with H1 receptor where present in the blood vessel, nerves, smooth muscles, so and central nervous system. So it mediates the allergy responses. That's why I already here the initial contact with the allergen with B cell, it produces, the plasma cell produces IgE antibodies, and it bind with mast cell. It's attached to the surface of mast cell. Then second time the exposure of allergen, this with IgE, the mast cell undergo degranulation process. Histamine is released. the allergic reaction takes place. During initial exposure, dust mites enters the body through nasobronchial passage, attach themselves to white blood cells, stimulates WBC to change its plasma cells. Plasma cells make antibodies. Antibodies attach themselves to mast cell. This is during the initial exposure. Allergen enters the body for second time when an individual is immunologically primed. Further contact with the allergen leads to secondary boosting of the immune response. Allergen and antibodies combined initiate the bridging reaction. Degranulation of mast cells happen, then release of mediators like histamine, bradykinin, SRSA, ECFA, etc. responsible for symptoms. So we need to talk about a mast cell stabilizer. Example, chrominolone. The mast cell have IgE receptor. The mast cell have IgE receptor. This IgE is going to bind with these IgE receptors. So this is known as sensitize the mast cell. This sensitize the mast cell is going to bind with, or the IgE is going to bind with antigen. So degranulation process will happen, histamine. This is going to produce allergy. So if we want to block allergy, there is some drugs we can use, that is mast cell stabilizers, which block this pathway. So the mast cell can't bind with Ig. The sensitized mast cell can't bind with antigen. Example for bromelain. And this is, I already said that the mast cell release histamine. In nerves we have specific histamine H1 receptors, and this normally the histamines bind with this H1 receptors. But if we have H1 blocker drugs which can block this receptor, the allergy reaction won't take place. So H1 receptor blockers, first generation and second generation. Second generation do not produce sedative effect, which means sleepy effect. No sedative. But first generation produce sedation. It produce sedation because it can enter central nervous system. In second generation antihistamines, it can't enter into central nervous system. Examples are Benadryl, diphenhydramine, promethazine, phenyramine, chlorpheniramine, dexchlorphenyramine, methadone, clemastine. Second generation antihistamines, fexofenadine, loratadine, desloratadine, cetirizine, levocetirizine. At least you need to study these names. I will tell once more again. Benadryl, important. Benadryl, diphenhydramine, promethazine, phenyramine, chlorpheniramine, methadone, dexchlorphenyramine, clemastine. Second generation antihistamines, fexofenadine, loratadine, desloratadine, cetirizine, levocetirizine. Mechanism of action of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Okay, I'm going to again drawing. Okay, consider this is our cell membrane. Cell membrane have phospholipids. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, from this phospholipid, arachidonic acid will produce from the arachidonic acid we have two cycles, or we have two pathways. Cyclooxygenase pathway and lipoxygenase pathway. In cyclooxygenase there is two pathways. That is cyclooxygenase 1 and cyclooxygenase 2, and it produces prostaglandins. Lipoxygenase, it will produce leukotrienes. Okay. NSAID is going to inhibit this cyclooxygenase. NSAID is going to inhibit this cyclooxygenase pathway. This is non-specific. And another one, selasohib, which is also a NSAID, selasohib, which is specifically for path 2. So cyclooxygenase is inhibited by NSAID and there is no inflammation, and there is no inflammation. No inflammation and no allergy. We can block the allergy symptoms by using NSAID. And this is mechanism of NSAID. Arachidonic acid is giving prostaglandins and hemostasia, GI mucosal protection, mediators of pain, inflammation and fever. So we need to inhibit cyclooxygenase. That's why we using NSAIDs. Selasohib is specifically for cyclooxygenase 2. An example for NSAIDs is aspirin, selasohib, diclofenac, ibuprofen, indomethacin, ketoprofen, oxycams, piroxicam example, At least you need to by heart these drugs: aspirin, salazohib, diclofenac, ibuprofen, indomethacin, ketoprofen, piroxicam. And there is some glucocorticoids also acts as anti-inflammatory action. For example, prednisolone, beclomethasone. And what is the action of glucocorticoids? Glucocorticoids will produce lipocortin. Lipocortin will inhibit phospholipase 2. I already said from membrane phospholipids is arachidonic acid is produced by the help of enzyme phospholipase 8. So if we able to inhibit this enzyme, this reaction won't occur. So inflammation won't occur. Inflammation and allergy symptoms won't occur. That is what glucocorticoids done. It produces lipocortin which inhibits phospholipase A2. Example, prednisolone and beclomethasone. And we have anti-leukotrienes. Anti-leukotrienes. We said from arachidonic acid, leukotrienes is produced by lipoxygenase pathway. So this enzyme can inhibited by lipoxygenase inhibitors. For example, ciliotone. And if this leukotrienes produced, it is bind with the specific receptors. If you are able to block this receptor, the leukotrienes can't attach to these receptors. The drugs are Leucast drugs: montelukast, saferlukast, pranlukast. These are the examples. Anti-leukotrienes mechanism of action. Anti-leukotrienes agents prevent the leukotrienes from attaching to receptors on cells in the lungs and the circulation. Inflammation in the lungs is blocked and the asthma symptoms are relieved. Mechanism of action of H2 receptors. Before we are going to explain H2 receptors, we need to do some questions. So a 16-year young man suffering from seasonal allergic rhinitis has been prescribed a highly active second generation H1 blocker. Example for second generation H blockers: loratadine, deslorelin, cetirizine, fexofenadine, levocetirizine, which can be characterized by absence of marked sedation action. There is no sedation because it is not enter into central nervous system. So if you take erythromycin, it's an antimicrobial drug. Indomethacin, it's an NSAID. Chlorpyramine, it is first generation of H1 blocker. Piplofen, not the answer. Loratadine is the second generation H1 blocker. A patient prescribed loratadine to treat allergic cheilitis. What is the mechanism of action of this drug? Suppress activity of cholinesterase? No. Cholinesterase can be inactivated by neostigmine, physostigmine, and irreversible suppression of cholinesterase by organic phosphates. Then suppress the activity of Na plus K plus ATPase. No, it is by digoxin. It is cardiac glycoside. Increases activity of monoamine amine oxidase. No. Blockade of adrenergic receptors. No. It is not the answer. Blockade of H1 receptor. This is the answer. A girl receives antibiotics of penicillin group of acute bronchitis. On third day treatment, she developed allergic dermatitis. What drug should be administered? Levamisole? No, it is antiparasitic drug. Ephedrine? No, it's anaphylactic shock. It's treatment of anaphylaxis. Beclomethasone? No, it's a glucocorticoid. Cromolyn, which is master cell stabilizer. So allergic dermatitis, we should prescribe loratadine, second generation H1 receptor blocker. A patient with contact dermatitis prescribed on antihistamine drug without sleeping effect or sedative effect. Select this drug from this list. Ranitidine? No, it is H2. We will talk later. H2. Another examples for H2 receptors. Who knows? Cimetidine, ranitidine. Then dipricin. Promethazine is a H1 first generation. Suprastin or chlorpyramine, it is also H1 first generation. Benadryl H1 first generation. Everything shows sedative effect. Loratadine second generation, no side effect, no sedative effect. Woman with allergic neurodermatitis, second generation antihistamine without depressing effect of central nervous system. Diazolin or mefedrolin, it is H1 first generation. Ketotifen, mast cell stabilization. Clemastine, H1 first generation. Diphenhydramine, H1 first generation. Loratadine, H1 second generation. No depression effect on central nervous system. That is, there is no sedative effect. Mechanism of action of H2 receptor blockers. H2 receptors seen in parietal cells of stomach. They bind with histamine, produce different functions. That is, increase the production of HCl. So histamine here produce HCl. Histamines bind with H2 receptor. We can see parietal cell in the wall of stomach. So H2 receptor is located in the parietal cell of stomach. So histamine can act on this H2 receptor and produce HCl. So some drugs which can effectively block this H2 receptor will not produce HCl or decrease the amount of HCl, which will used for ulcer diseases. In ulcer, the mucosa of stomach is damaged, so again if HCl is produced, it will exacerbate the ulcer disease. That's why we prescribe H2 receptor. Ranitidine, cimetidine, famotidine and nizatidine are the examples of H2 receptor blockers. Histamine in the stomach occurs in endocrine cells or endochromaffin-like cells, mast cells and neurons. This histamine, where it comes from? It is come from endocrine cells were present in the stomach known as enterochromaffin cells, and also from mast cells and neurons. The enterochromaffin cells are peptide hormone producing cells. In mammals, they are located basally in oxygenated gland area in the chief cell rich origin. Parietal cells predominate in the mid region of the stomach. Here, chromalin acts as a stabilizer, mast cell stabilizer. Chromalin works at the surface of mast cell to inhibit its degranulation. This is in turn prevents the release of histamine and slow reacting substance of anaphylaxis, mediators of type 1 allergic reactions. These are the mediators of type 1 allergic reactions. Chromalin also may reduce the release of inflammatory leukotrienes. Antigen produce or antigen stimulate the production of antibody. The antibody attaches to mast cell. The re-exposure of antigen will produce antigen antibody complex or form antigen antibody complex and leads to mast cell degranulation and release of mediators. And this release is stabilized by chromalin sodium. That's why we are showing this one. Chromalin sodium blocks the degranulation. Immunostimulants induce a non-specific inactivation of the immune system. Another drugs we need to, some drugs can stimulate the immune system, for example some vaccines. So stimulants induce non-specific activation of the immune systems unless they are associated with antigens, example adjuvants in vaccines, and may amplify different effectors of immune response, including phagocytosis and intracellular killing organisms, antigen presentation, cytotoxic and antiviral activity. An example for immunostimulant is thymolin, synthetic thymus. Okay, we can see the questions. A patient in a transplantation center underwent a heart transplantation. The organ was taken from a donor who died in road accident. Foreign heart can be rejected as a result of development of transplantation immunity. It is usually prevented by means of X-ray therapy? No. Enzymes? No. Ultrasound? No. Chemotherapy? No. Immune suppressors. For example, glucocorticoids. Example for glucocorticoids drugs. If you study this drug, budesonide, I will teach you all the drugs where I write here. We know prednisolone and beclomethasone. Okay. If instead of beclomethasone, beclo name beta, so we can say betamethasone, and replace the beta with dexa, so we can say dexamethasone. Beclomethasone, betamethasone, dexamethasone. Okay, then prednisolone, add methyl in front of prednisolone, we get methyl prednisolone. So we know an important hormone in our body, that is cortisol. replace the L with N, then we get cortisone. Then add hydro in front of cortisone, we get hydrocortisone. And study budesonide, beclomethasone, betamethasone, dexamethasone. From prednisolone we get methylprednisolone, and we know cortisol is a main steroid in our body. So cortisone, replace the L with N, then cortisone, then we get hydrocortisone if we add hydro before cortisone. And study budesonide. Anti-inflammatory agents, glucocorticoids and mast cell stabilizer, cromolyn, leukotriene antagonist, cephalosporin, siluton. Siluton is specific for binding or inhibiting lipoxygenase enzyme. Cephalosporin is blocking the leukotriene receptor. Okay, and a question. During introduction of local anesthesia, patient into anaphylactic shock, what drug administer? Ephedrine, epinephrine, hydrochloride, nitroglycerin, vasodilation in angina, propranolol, beta blocker, hypertension, disease for hypertension, atropine sulfate, it's the MN cholinergic blockers, diazepam, it is benzodiazepine, antidote for barbiturate poison, who knows, Bemagreed. Therapeutics unit of a hospital received a man suffering from ulcer disease of the stomach with a hyperacidity. Which of the listed group of drugs must be used as a part of complex therapy of this patient? Okay, he is asking ulcer disease. Treatment. Histamine H1 receptor blocker. We can't use. Steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Don't use. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. It will increase ulcer. It will increase ulcer or exacerbate ulcer. Calcium channel blockers. No, we didn't use for ulcer. H2 receptor blockers. Yes, histamine H2 receptor blockers. Example: famotidine, nisatidine, ranitidine, cimetidine. Okay, friends. I think this video is helpful for you, and if you have any doubts, you can add in the comment section, and prepare for your proc exam. Have a nice day. Thank you.